So, Brian, the next film that we're going to take care of came out in 1976. It
Hmm.
is considered, I think, a horror classic.
Oh yeah.
And we're also going to be mentioning the remake that happened. It
Oh,
is
okay.
Carrie,
Carrie.
written and directed by Brian De Palma.
Me.
This,
Wow.
th- yeah, I mean, you also did Scarface,
I
and
did.
it was wild.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Al Pacino didn't have a cameo within Carrie
I
as
know. Me too.
Carrie herself. So,
you you smell pig bugs on me? You, you say I'm a Cuban pig? Huh?
oh, so you
Oh.
you want to drench me in blood, yeah? So, Brian, tell the people what Carrie is about for the
Carrie.
uneducated.
Of course. Carrie is about a super um, Christian mother who hates her daughter. No, it's about a girl who's very self-conscious, and I think it's a movie up till the very ending, to the point where it's like about real life. It's a movie about a teen who's afraid of the world and afraid of herself and afraid of who they're becoming, but with a psychological sort of sense of like her mistakes and her getting angry and her getting emotional hurt people around her.
Yeah, yeah, and also the character Carrie herself is warped in terms of her sensibilities because of her very religious mother, very Christian mother, who, when Carrie at the very beginning of the original film comes back home ashamed of herself because she just experienced her first period,
Hmm.
her mother just goes after her saying, for shame, you're disgusting, pray, repent, all that. And you really do see why this character would be pushed, especially once she realizes she has psychic ability.
Hmm.
Like everyone around this character is creating a monster, essentially. This was based off of a Stephen King book. I've not read that Stephen King book,
Me
but
neither.
I'm very interested in reading a lot
Yeah.
of Stephen King stuff, including Carrie. This one is probably on the lesser of my interests, just because, I feel like Stephen King, in a lot of stories that he's done, he's really over the top. And that's not
Hmm.
necessarily a bad thing. It's just
Yeah.
noticeable. And it depends on each story how much you're willing to tolerate,
Yeah.
reading those types of characters. Like, for
No, yeah.
example, The Mist, right? Have you seen The
Yeah.
Mist?
I actually have not. I don't know. Oh wait, The Mist. Yes, I'm so
Yes.
sorry. I thought you were talking about the one where it was like the cornfield.
No,
Not,
the
not
Mist.
Children of the Corn, but no, yeah, I love The Mist. Yeah, I he
So,
got. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, Brian, but
Oh
you
no, no.
have,
Wait here. Who wants to go first?
you go first.
Oh, okay.
I'll be the gentleman.
I'm so sorry.
I'll be the host.
Thank you, Mr. Host. I was gonna say I'm
Thank you,
on
Mr.
my list
Host.
of Stephen King on Stephen King movies. I think The Mist, the black and white version, is my favorite one.
Mhm.
Then Children of the Corn, then It, then Cujo, and then Carrie.
Okay, right on. The Mist, the reason I brought it up is because it has that religious evangelicist woman
Hmm.
character
Yes.
who I found this just, oh God.
Oh yeah, it made me feel like, oh man, as a Christian, I shouldn't hate someone, but I hate this woman.
What am I mean, yeah, exactly. You're religious and you want her to shut up,
Oh yeah, I want
you
her to
know?
be quiet.
And I feel like that's when it's done well. In Carrie, I feel Carrie can be a bit over the top, but that's the point, right? That's the
Yeah.
context of it. She needs to become
Mhm.
the monster at the end because she's surrounded by monsters, right?
Mhm.
So it
Yeah.
makes sense in different contexts. So it depends if you're going to read or watch a Stephen King movie, how much are you going to tolerate these over the top, negative, terrible people, right?
Yeah.
So when you first watched Carrie, I believe you only watched the remake, right?
Oh no, I've watched both.
Oh, you've watched both?
Yeah, I just I don't know. The ending scene, I kind of like the remake more because there's a little bit more gore.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, because with horror movies, I just expect to be a lot more gore, a lot more blood and stuff like that. With Carrie, I mean, it's good for what it was, and especially what was allowed at the time, because I know that a lot of restrictions were coming towards like like I remember Texas Chainsaw Massacre really changed like the box office with like the government and a lot of Christian movements saying like, oh, horror is awful and this can influence people into killing others. So they had to like really cut down on how much and what would be allowed in audience.
And
You
here's
know?
the response to those people. Carrie's the
Yeah.
response to that.
Here is a response to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you first watched it, how did you feel, especially being a man of faith yourself?
Uh, no, yeah, I think it does like show. I honestly love movies when they do show like the horrible side of people who use faith as a tool to like manipulate people. You know, like the witch or the witch, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. Right. I love that movie because it really does show like this person losing their faith because they feel like their family is ruining what that faith used to stand for. You know, because
Yeah.
for me, you know, Christianity means like to be pure and to, you know, stay truthful to God and stuff like that. But there's people who are evil in this world who would just naturally use that against others to make them feel more superior. And you see that a lot with her mom. You know, she's trying to make her feel like, because I think there was like a post that I saw, like an article that was talking about like, why do you think that Carrie's mom is such like an asshole and stuff, right? And I think it was like that Carrie's mom sort of has like the self-hatred that she went through the same experience at her age, right?
Yeah.
And that she's just putting all this self-hatred towards her own daughter to make her sort of feel, like not have to deal with the same problems that she grew up as a kid. But at the same time, I think it's just natural for a girl just to go through that. It's natural for every kid to go through that. And I think that's the thing, is that she was trying to be so overprotective that she wound up hurting her own daughter than actually protecting her.
Yeah. Yeah. So you say you like the remake better because of the gore.
Uh, no, I was gonna say I just the ending scene. Overall, I prefer the first movie. Just the
Okay.
ending scene.
Okay. I was gonna ask whether the remake, because I've not
The
watched
Joe
it.
and King remake.
Well, I was gonna ask whether the original the remake was as explicit, because the opening scene of the original, you see like it opens up in a girl's locker room, and then Carrie has her period, and you see it in pretty graphic detail. Does the remake go that far, or does it hold back more?
It holds back a little because it is like a mid 2000s movie. You know, I really
Actually, I
like
think it
it
was
how we just
2013.
decided 2030. Yeah, so like, oh yeah, so like early 21st century. So yeah, it held back a little. I
Right.
don't know. It it's such it's a bad. I mean, it's not a horrible remake. Like, there's more horrible remakes out there. It's just not enjoyable. I just like the ending part.
Okay. Okay. And that's the thing. Is it? I feel like there are elements of the original film that are kind of exploitive, especially at the very beginning, like where there, there are shots that De Palma's stuck on with these girls working out. It's like
Yeah,
this is, and especially the shower scene. It was like,
yeah,
it's like, yeah, now I know why
yeah. They
you did
definitely
this
take out.
movie.
I know they took out the best parts. No, they don't have a whole lot of that in the sequel. I mean, in the remake.
Okay. Yeah. It sounds like with the remake, it's more just something, if it were on in the background, you wouldn't turn
It's
off.
just for nostalgia. Yeah, it's
Just for
really.
nostalgia?
Yeah, I mean, it's not enjoyable at the same time. It's not like making you feel like, oh, I hate this. You know.
Right. But do you feel like the original is more for the effect? Like, what would you recommend Carrie based on? Just
I
that it's
would
a classic, or the gore? What exactly?
I would recommend Carrie based off of actually not really much as being a horror film, but more or less of a teen film. Just like a sort of like you're dealing with problems in school and you feel like this urge. Like, I love that movie. It follows. You know, because it
Yeah.
sort of has that. It. I love how they have the monster invisible because it sort of represents like how you feel like in life. You know, you feel like you might be going through a breakup or you're going through this harsh relationship and you feel like you're being constantly watched over and you can't have like that free space to be yourself and you always feel like something's there to like mess you up. It's like that hidden evil that's just out there that could mess with you. And I love that
Right.
movie because of that. And it's sort of the same thing with Carrie, where it's just this girl living through a hard time of just her normal life, and she also has to deal with this abusive mother. Well, not abusive mother.
No, no,
Well, she can be
abusive.
very abusive. No, yeah,
Abusive.
she can be very abusive at some times. But I'm saying she's in her mind she's strict. In the audience eyes, it's abusive.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, she's a very abusive mother, just trying to make sure her daughter stays pure and safe, but at the wrong
But she's doing
sense
it
of
through
it,
fear. She's teaching
fear
through
and through
fear.
anger. Yeah.
Yeah, and very intense scenes where she's just. I mean, the performances originally are incredible. I know they got Chloe Grace Moretz and I believe Julianne Moore to play the roles of Carrie and her mother.
Mhm.
Which performances do you prefer? Do you prefer the originals, or do you appreciate what these new actresses did?
Uh, I appreciate the new actresses. I
Mhm.
think they did an okay job compared to the original. I don't think so. I won't lie. Like I said, I prefer the ending scene very well with the remake than with the ending with the
Right.
first movie. But it makes in the first. I mean, even though in the first scene it is kind of funny just to see your face like this and stuff like that. But yeah, in the remake, it's very it's more dumb. It's
Yeah.
it's even more dumb, and you could. Oh no, it's a lot like Wrecked with Quarantine. A lot of stuff is very shot for shot, not very like it's kind of tasteless. You can put it on the background. It's just for you to make fun of,
Yeah.
or if you just want to enjoy it, just because hey, it's on a list and might as well watch it. You know,
It's a living.
it's a living
uh,
watching a film.
making a film. It's a living.
It's a living.
So I actually have two movie questions.
Ooh, the first ever.
I mean, we're dealing with an original and a remake. You gotta
Oh,
have
we are.
two.
Oh boy.
So the first one that I'm
Mhm.
going to bring up. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm prepared.
A remake that you watched that didn't ruin the first film, but actually kind of improved some areas in it. Like you watched the original film and you watched the remake, and the remake actually excelled in areas that you wish the original did.
Wow. I mean, man, that's actually kind of hard.
I
Ooh,
know.
that's rough because
It
there's a
has to
lot
be.
of. Yeah, I know. I mean, you could make an argument to say like, oh, the remake itself isn't bad, but you can't really say like, oh, the remake made it better or even like improved upon it. You know?
No,
Um,
but you like if you're doing a direct,
mhm,
film, like that's just a remake. It's going to take the same story. Maybe it took a character that you really loved and upped it a bit. Maybe it took uh, a scene that you wish had been more improved on. Can you think of anything like
mhm.
that?
um, wow, that's I'm really stuck on it. Oh wait, actually, yeah. I would say Jason, Friday the
Oh,
13th. I think.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say I think the new remake really excels at it.
Mhm.
Yo, Jason is like, all right. Jason itself is a very slow kind of guy. He's a very methodical killer. But in the remake, they just make him into this super badass where he's just like this ultra killer, and I do like that. It
Mm.
really makes it into a horror, like a horror film versus like this, you know, Camp Crystal Lake sort of like murderous mom and stuff. I mean, the acting is atrocious in the film, but that's just with any mid 2000 and 21st century movie, with like, oh, we're teens, we're here at the beach and stuff. Let's have fun.
Yeah. Let's have
But yeah,
fun.
let's have fun. But yeah, I think Jason does a great job. Or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know,
Okay. All right. Okay. One
with
that always comes to mind as a remake that actually improved upon the original in some ways.
mhm,
Ocean's 11. The
mhm,
original with Sinatra and Dean Martin's not that great. And now when people think about Ocean's 11, they think of Clooney and Pitt and
mhm,
Matt Damon and this crazy cast. And the reason I think it's better, I think the first one at least is better. I think it has a
yeah.
better style to it, and it has this great just chemistry because obviously these actors are friends and all that, and they work well together. And it has a pretty good use of the cast. At least the first
Mhm,
Ocean's 11 does.
yeah.
You know, I mean
Yeah.
the
The new one, the newest one.
Ocean's 8. Yeah,
Ocean's 8. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Uh, I I saw like a little, and that was it.
Okay, I mean the Ocean's movies aside from 11 aren't the best
I'm
though.
gonna say, yeah, all of them are really, yeah, after the first two,
Yeah, I mean you just watch them honestly for
It's
the
like
cast.
Transformers.
Oh no. No.
Nah.
Nothing's like Transformers, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. I
That's
do like 1 and 3, and that's it.
well, I'm sorry about that.
Bro, I like 1 because Shia LaBeouf is really funny.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do? Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Go to sleep, you beautiful man. You.
Yeah, we're done.
I love that scene, man.
Here's the second question, Brian.
All right, the second question. All right, let's do this.
Your favorite filmic adaptation of a Stephen King story?
The Mist.
Oh, damn. All right. The Mist, really? Why?
It wasn't the very first Stephen King movie that I saw, but I love the ending so much. And also it sounds weird. You know how like some people have dreams about like them like saving the world and stuff like that?
Never before. No.
All right. Well, I swear.
Not
My
at all.
dreams were always like, oh, it's the end of the world and I'm in a apocalyptic sort of future, and
Of course.
that's basically what it
Brian.
is. It's just a bunch of people.
You the baddest. You get the finest everything.
I swear.
You beat the most ass.
I guess I do. No, but I also like it how when you do see the monsters, it's not like some gimmick. And actually, I think the CGI does kind of help it sometimes in some aspects.
I mean, there's some CGI in the Mist that's kind of terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say the squid creature is awful. I'm really disappointed that there was some practical within there, and that looked good. But they were like, "Oh, we made an executive decision because of our higher ups just wanted it in CG versus practical."
Right.
And I felt like that was such a missed opportunity.
Oh.
I love the fly creatures, the spider scene with the one of
you don't get
guys.
credit for that one, by the way. It was such a missed opportunity.
Oh my god, I didn't. Oh my god, I didn't.
Don't act surprised. I even heard it in your voice.
No, I didn't. No,
it was such a missed opportunity. Brilliant. Let me be funny.
No, I didn't even mean it, bro.
No, you're right. There's some great shots. There's that shot of that monster overhead in the mist, and it's a really good use of CG. It's not a missed opportunity.
The scene where he has to kill his son, and then
I hated that.
I hated that so much, and then at the end, man, oh my god, when the military came in, I was like, if only.
The Curb Your Enthusiasm theme plays.
Oh my god! I really like how the old woman, what's her name? The woman from Walking Dead. She leaves the she comes in, and that's the other thing. I love that movie because it is the cast of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, well, Frank Darabont was a
Frank Darabont,
he directed that film, and he directed some episodes.
He directed the first 2 seasons of the first season of The Walking Dead and the second half of the season of The Walking Dead. Because then AMC was like, "Oh, we don't want to pay this guy anymore. Let's pay like this random other dude."
Yeah.
And it kind of sucked after that.
Okay. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
This is my favorite King
Stephen
adaptation.
King. All right, cool, right.
And it's by the same director, Frank Darabont. It's called Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption.
Jeez, man.
Sometimes I always forget that's a Stephen King movie.
I know, and that because it's so un-Stephen King-ish.
I know it really is.
Like it's a diamond in the rough, honestly. And yeah, I mean, you can
actually real quick. I'm not gonna Can I change my answer? Can I put that as my favorite?
No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
Oh no!
You were late to the meeting. You were too busy shooting. You could have called dibs.
I was gonna say there's a really funny thing in the very beginning. Me and my mom were watching it, and in the very beginning it says associate producer Brian Libby, and it's the first 2 names of my mom and my name. And it's really funny.
With our powers combined.
The Wonder Twins. Oh, that'd be cool to see a movie or a TV show about the Wonder Twins.
Oh yeah. We got them in Smallville. So.
Oh, Smallville, yeah.
That's all you get. Anyway, but Shawshank Redemption, great cast, great performances from those cast members,
Oh
great
yeah.
themes within it, great music that is never. I could listen to that in my head right now. I am right now. Iconic moments like him crawling out of the sewer into the rain, just an incredible incredible movie about perseverance and the prison system and how kind of
Mhm.
messed up it really is, and how it can get extreme, and
They had
how
the sheriff from Detroit become human in there. Uh,
who did he play?
he played the corrupt cop guy. What's his name?
Oh, the
I
guard,
forgot. Yeah, the main guard. Yeah, the head
Clancy
guard.
Brown.
Yeah, Clancy Brown. Yeah,
He's also the voice of Lex Luthor
yeah,
within Justice League. There you go. Uh, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Great cast. Come
yeah.
on.
Actually, real quick sidebar. Because you've asked a couple of movie questions, I
Oh,
like
you want
to
to ask
ask.
one?
I would love to ask you one.
Please.
I know that there's a whole bunch of controversy over that year because there was two amazing films that came out that year.
Oh, there were a lot of amazing
Oh yeah, there
films.
was a lot of amazing. Oh yeah, I
I
forgot
believe that
three.
was the year of Lion King and Forrest Gump
Lion
also.
King. Yes. So Forrest Gump won the Oscar for Best Picture.
Right.
In your opinion, do you think that Shawshank Redemption should have won Best Picture, or are you
Over
glad
Forrest
it
Gump.
got over Forrest Gump, or do you think that Forrest Gump deserved it?
That's really tough, man, because
I
if
know.
if Angel were here, he would probably argue for Forrest Gump since he loves that film.
Oh yeah, I love that film too.
Yeah, I like it. I love it too.
Yeah.
But honestly,
Mhm.
I feel like I feel like Shawshank Redemption is the better film between the both. I think that even though both are really great, right? I think Shawshank Redemption, it really just captures the human spirit in a
Mhm.
very troubling and beautiful way at the
Oh
same
yeah.
time. I mean, like this freedom is a prison within that film. The idea of being free when you're dealing with uh, uh, these people who control your freedom,
Mhm.
where the business of prisons is not about rehabilitation, it's about storing people because it's a money making business. There are
Mhm.
prisons that are privately owned,
Mhm.
so why on like they're making money off you in there, why would they let you go
Yeah.
at any point, right?
Yeah.
And there are some amazing quotes by Morgan. I feel like Morgan Freeman's incredible in that film. Get busy living or get busy dying is something that we could all take something from. We all should, right? I
Yeah.
mean, living as
Mhm.
much as you can. There's amazing moments with Tim Robbins where he says he's talking about the music, right? Because he played music against the warden's wishes. He locks himself in the warden's room and he plays music, opera music, over the PA system, and everyone stops and listens to it because it's a taste of freedom. And he gets put away in this the hole for like a month or something. He comes out and he says, I was not alone. I had Beethoven, I had Mozart in my head. They can't take that away from you. Just incredible moments like that. That I love Forrest Gump, but Forrest
I
Gump I
was
feel like is much more of a feel good movie. You
yeah.
know, Whereas this is really
Yeah,
about
Forrest Gump is more or less a feel good movie just to
yeah,
make you, accept life and appreciate life and to sort of like family is there and sort of like, and if you don't have family, you make family along with friends and stuff like that. And then Shawshank Redemption is more or less of enjoy your freedoms that you have. This is what life is about. And even if you're encased in a box, you still have your soul. And your
yeah,
soul is the only thing that sometimes people cannot take. And with that comes perseverance. And through perseverance, you then gain freedom. And
exactly.
yeah,
I mean,
totally agree.
that is encased within the old character, the old man character who
Mhm.
took care of the baby crow. I mean, he has a tragic story, and I mean, just themes like that aren't really held very well within movies today. The idea of freedom being a prison. I was uncomfortable outside of the walls. I was in there for so long. I was in there for most of my life. That was my world, and then they dropped me into this place. The outside, and
Yeah. I was
everything
gonna
is
say,
not.
yeah,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say another movie that kind of reminded me of that was Life with Eddie Murphy. It's basically the
Life
same life, yeah,
with Eddie Murphy.
with Eddie Murphy.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that,
Oh my God, yo, it's like imagine Shawshank Redemption, but these two
but
guys,
it's Eddie
right?
Murphy.
It's with Eddie Murphy, and it's a really sad film. It's not funny at all, and it's so wild. But yeah, it's
Let
just
me tell you something about being in prison.
no, it's
It's
Eddie
not,
Murphy.
you get your dick sucked. You get your dick sucked all the time, and you suck it all the time.
I swear, no, it's Eddie Murphy and someone else, and
I take
they're
it raw
racially
in prison.
and they get racially profiled, right? And
Right.
they get taken to prison in the 50s or 60s, right? And throughout all their life until they're 80, they've just been living in the prison system, and to the point where the prison is no longer prison and it's just an elderly home, and they still feel like they can't leave that area, that sense of confinement, because that's just their entire life. It's been since they were 20 years old. They've just been stuck in one place, and that's where they're dying. Until one day where one of them bombs the elderly home, and then they catch a game in New York Yankee Stadium, and they live out their life from 80 and then on. It's a great movie. It's very sad. It's like, imagine if Green Mile mixed with Shawshank Redemption, but with Eddie Murphy.
That sounds bizarre. I'm gonna be honest with you. That sounds really weird to think
Yeah.
of.
No, yeah, it's super weird. No, yeah, when I was like, wait, Eddie
Could you turn
Murphy?
on? Could you keep the lights on? Could you keep the lights on?
Yeah, I was like, man, this is gonna be a real weird movie. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh wow, this is sad as hell.
Oh man. Okay, I think we're done, Brian, for today.
I think so too. But
I'm done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me on today's video and podcast. This was very fun. I love horror, and I love talking about like a couple of my favorite horror films.
Yeah, we're gonna cover some more tomorrow.
Mhm.
Hopefully you'll be on time.
Of course, yes.
You won't be shooting.
Tomorrow is my free day, so it's Sunday.
Tomorrow, I'm shooting tomorrow. Okay, Brian, where can the people find you?
Well, folks, you can catch me on Instagram at VideoWarrior51. You can also catch me on YouTube at the same handle. That's mostly it. And yeah, thank you very much.
Brian, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate your insight and missight at times on the film.
Of course.
I had a great time. Everybody, do what Brian said. Enjoy these discussions. Watch these movies. And you can find us, finally, on Spotify. It happened. The GOAT Movie Podcast is now on Spotify. And you can just look us up, and you can listen to us on the go.
Why listen to Joe Rogan when you can listen to GOAT Movie Podcast?
I'm still waiting for my 10 million or whatever he got. I'm waiting for double.
Hey, Jamie, do we have that? Do we have that check for Julius?
Jamie, do we have my contract?
Jamie, do we have this contract? I think we do. Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, right.
It's entirely possible that we have the contract. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
Adios.
The GOAT Podcast is proof you don't have to look any further for movie news, reviews, trailer reactions, or special discussions. Subscribe, get notified about what's going on, and I promise you'll be entertained by our daily content on YouTube. If you want more, we're on Twitter at GOAT Film Podcast, Instagram The GOAT Podcast, and the GOAT Movie Group on Facebook. Get connected with us, see what's happening, and make sure to love it while you're doing so.